Perhaps one of the biggest issues I've ever had to deal with happened 3 years ago in Korea, and it dealt with the U.S. potato industry. The U.S. potato industry is incredibly engaged on MRLs. And as I mentioned, Korea was in the process of establishing a new MRL system. The U.S. potato industry established, working with registrants and on their own and with the Korean government, over 100 MRLs in Korea to make sure they would not have a problem. The problem happened because there was one that was missing. And the one that was missing was through a loophole. The company that owned that compound was selling it, so they had no interest in dedicating resources to getting an MRL in Korea. And the new company was not aware that they needed the MRL in Korea. And so when we got to December 2021, a month before the transition, we realized that the entire U.S. potato crop had been treated with that compound and they could have a trade problem. This had the potential to affect $100 million worth of exports. It went all the way up to the U.S. Trade Representative's office, the White House, dealing with very senior people trying to keep a $100 million market open. But the Korean government said, you have had years to prepare for this. We're not going to extend the temporary MRL. You should have been prepared. So as a result, the way we fixed the issue is the Korean government weighed in and did the review of the compound in question. And we had the MRL established within 4 months, and trade could flow without any trade being rejected. But the potential was significant. You might not have had French fries in Korea. One of the fastest growing and biggest challenges right now, and I had emails about this morning, is something called the channels of trade issue. And it's particularly challenging in the EU, but it could be in other places. So what is channels of trade? When you grow certain crops, those crops can remain in storage for years. Maybe a nut crop or dried fruit or juices. Some products can stay in storage for years. And so what happens is you can know what the MRL is in a country around the world and make sure you've applied something and it's compliant. You put it in your storage, and that storage sits for 2 years, and the country changes the MRL and lowers it. Now your previously compliant product is no longer compliant. And you have a hard time selling that product that's in your warehouse getting ready to be shipped. The way to address this is through channels of trade language. And the United States is the only government that has such language that says if the product was treated when the MRL was established and there's no food safety issue and you can prove that, the product is still legal to enter into the United States. We want more countries to consider that, and especially in the European Union, where a lot of MRLs are falling. The EU is where there's a lot of pesticide and MRL challenges, and it's because they approach MRLs from a different perspective, from a hazard-based approach. So as a result, many pesticides are being not renewed, and many MRLs are falling, and that's causing challenges. So channels of trade there is very important.